Across the corn and rice fields of the American Midwest, a massive threat rises again. Feral hogs, one of the most destructive invasive species in the U.S., cause $1.5 to $2.5 billion in damage every year, and they're back. They tear up soil, snap young crops, spread diseases to livestock, and put entire communities at risk. Today, our mission isn't going hunting. This is wildlife damage control, protecting the livelihoods of families who depend on agriculture. Stay with us as we step straight into the chase. The 2025 Ranger rolls slowly along the soft ground. On the GPS, the zigzag tracks show up clearly, classic signs of hog intrusion. No shouting, no rushing. We spread out the way a real wildlife control team should. Silent, safe, reading the terrain before making a move. Everything has to happen fast and clean. The moment the target comes into view, the first shot breaks the silence. Quick, precise control. That wasn't a challenge shot. It was a controlled shot executed with proper backstop and target ID mandatory under you. S. Wildlife law to protect local agriculture. The gunshot sends the sounder scattering, but we know the field edges are always their escape route. This isn't luck, this is a behavioral pattern that every hog management specialist knows by heart. Everything plays out exactly as predicted. We read their movement, estimate distance, and follow every rule of safe shooting. Every action aligns with the law and with ethical hunting principles, ensuring safety while minimizing unnecessary stress on the nuisance animals. Under the blazing sun, we split into multiple teams. One cutting off the escape line toward the hill, one pushing the herd into the planned tactical path, and the last team taking the catch point to stop them from heading toward local homes. Then the ambush happens so fast it barely qualifies as hunting. This is tactical wildlife control, where reflexes and experience decide everything. As the hogs charge up the hillside, Nick, the most experienced on the team, is already in position. Hogs climb for elevation to gain visibility and reach thick cover, so intercepting them along the elevation line cuts the risk of chasing too deep by almost 70%. Nick's rifle isn't about power. It's a tool defending farms that could lose tens of thousands of dollars if the sounder pours back onto the fields. The plan closes out exactly as expected. Multiple nuisance targets controlled, clean, and safe. Moving along the tree line, Nick suddenly signals a stop. Fresh tracks, a shifted run line, soil kicked harder than usual, signs of a bigger hog nearby. In seconds, every skill has to come together. In safe distance, keeping a clear line of sight, choosing a safe angle for the whole team. All of it isn't just for our safety, it's for the crops behind us. At sunset, prime hog movement time, a new group bursts out, trying to circle back toward the cornfield. Nobody panics. Nobody breaks position. The tactic holds, and the final shot is taken clean, controlled, safe, ending the threat. We don't hunt hogs to show off skill. We make the right shot at the right moment for the right reason to protect farmers and their land. When the last light fades, the day's mission is done. The hogs loaded onto the Ranger 2025 aren't just trophies. They're proof of discipline, tactics, and community responsibility. And this fight isn't over. See you in the next episode, where the Western Ridgelines still hide new challenges. We'll be there, keeping the field safe.
What you just watched was a large-scale wild boar raid, not for fame or entertainment. Rather, the wild boars have left the entire Allier region nearly exhausted. Allier, central France, is a place where grain farms stretch as far as the eye can see. But in recent years, an unchecked wild boar population has thrown the ecosystem into serious disarray. Fields have been plowed up, crops uprooted, irrigation systems damaged, and, worst of all, there is the fear of disease. Last October, the local government issued a call for help from the hunting community to control the wild boar population. I, along with nearly 40 other gunmen, formed a hunting party focused on the Allier, an area considered a hot spot for wild boar density. We divided into many groups, each group of 4 to 6 people, assigned to locations where wild boars frequently move. Behind the trees, a wild boar appeared. Perhaps it had detected danger, so it stopped and listened. Seizing the opportunity, I quickly opened fire and took down this boar. After taking down the first wild boar, we continued our ambush, and soon a herd of wild boars appeared. Our friend Tony shot at the pigs. Unfortunately, the bullet missed the target. On the contrary, it scared the pigs and made them run away faster. After the missed shot, Tony was not happy, and he said that he would not let any wild boar escape from his gun barrel. As if to confirm his words, Tony calmly raised his gun and shot down a very large wild boar. we shot down this morning. Looks like we're ambushing a wild boar den. Dozens of wild boars gathered in a large herd. We kept shooting and shot down quite a few wild boars. We cannot hesitate. If we leave any, they will spread out and destroy the neighboring fields. The herd of wild boars scattered. The stray ones also fell into the sights of our friends who had ambushed them earlier. Wild boars usually move in herds. However, to hunt effectively, we must be very patient and wait for them to appear. When a wild boar is in sight, the skill of loading and aiming accurately is also the key to successful wild boar. To take down a wild boar in one shot, you must aim accurately at its head or lungs. An accurate shot will save us time and reduce the impact on the environment. In the afternoon, we continue to check the trails leading to the agricultural area. However, the pigs were smarter, moving in small groups, splitting up and hiding better. Even so, they still could not escape our pursuit. Any wild boar found was quickly destroyed. Even though the wild boar ran very fast, it still couldn't escape the speed of the bullet. There were moments when my heart almost stopped beating when a giant wild boar rushed straight towards me after being attacked by a pack of hunting dogs. Finally, we gathered the prey and returned. All the wild boars were processed into meat and distributed to the farmers in the village.
The vast Maasai savannah, once a peaceful land where humans and nature coexisted in harmony, had fallen into chaos. For months, a pride of massive lions had spread terror across the plains, tearing apart even the largest prey and evading every pursuit. This was no longer a hunt. It was a battle for survival, a fight to protect the village. For us hunters, this journey was the only path: reclaim peace or be devoured by the king of the grasslands. Every weapon, every piece of modern equipment was brought into play. Everything was on the line for today's life-or-death mission. At dawn, our team advanced toward the eastern plains, where the colossal lions were hiding. The tension was palpable, but there was no fear. Even if blood had to be shed, success was our only option. A long-range ambush plan was put into motion. Tracking devices quickly pinpointed movement. In the distance, the sharp, cold eyes of the Jungle King came into view through my scope. I held my breath. Every move had to be precise and cautious. I took aim, locked on target. Boom! The shot struck true, straight into a vital point. The beast collapsed instantly. A sigh of relief swept through the team. A successful start, but the road ahead was still fraught with danger. At that same moment, James had his own encounter with another monstrous lion. The thunder of approaching footsteps made everyone's hearts race. Its strength was beyond imagination. As the beast appeared through the trees, James took the shot before it could charge at us. If he missed, the consequences would have been disastrous. But he didn't. The giant fell instantly. We decided to push deeper into the forest, the lair of the biggest predators. Danger lurked at every step. Through the binoculars, the cold, ruthless face of another lion emerged. From 100 meters away, I studied it carefully. Everything was ready. I pulled the trigger, and the bullet struck true. Another successful takedown. No matter how dangerous the target, we would face it for the peace of our village. The sun blazed overhead. We were exhausted, but our determination never faltered. Scanning the terrain, no one dared make a mistake. Then suddenly, movement. Another massive lion was hiding among the trees. No time to think, a dry crack echoed through the silent air. The beast dropped with a single shot. That gunshot was not just a victory, it was a warning to every bloodthirsty predator out there. We won't forgive their terror. As dusk approached, our time was running out. The team regrouped and pressed harder. The gunfire had already alerted the pride, making the hunt more difficult. While moving along the edge of the plain, a lion suddenly burst out of nowhere. An ambush! Our hearts nearly stopped. A huge gap in our defense had been exposed. Thankfully, Jack kept his cool and stopped the beast before it could strike. What a close call. Was that intense enough for you? Let us know in the comments. After that incident, we switched to Plan B, a coordinated strike, surround and attack while maintaining defense. Every move was calculated with utmost caution. Through the scope, I spotted a lion moving through the tall grass, our next target. No rash moves. I followed its every step. The perfect moment came. Headshot! Another clean victory for the day. Looks like Plan B worked perfectly. The radio crackled again. The beast was nearby. Fire. Jack pulled the trigger. A direct hit, but not enough. The wounded lion fled into the dense forest. The hunt wasn't over yet. Chaotic hoof prints etched deep into the dry earth, crushed grass scattered everywhere. We knew instantly a zebra herd had passed through here. But this time, the lead stallion wouldn't be easy to take down. Locals called it the ghost of the savannah. It always knew how to vanish into the morning mist, leaving behind a challenge for anyone daring enough to pursue it. We set out before dawn, driven by determination and a strategy we discussed all night. A hunt like this requires not just strength, but patience and an intimate understanding of your prey. This time, ours was exceptionally clever. Follow us and see how it unfolds. Under the scorching sun, we hid behind an old tree, watching as a herd of zebras grazed peacefully in the open field. They were alert, but hadn't yet sensed our presence. I signaled my partner to stay perfectly still. Every movement had to be calculated. When one of them strayed from the group, I aimed carefully and pulled the trigger. The gunshot cracked through the silence. The zebra fell instantly. The others bolted in panic. Our teamwork came not only from training, but from hundreds of times facing life and death together. Zebras are creatures of strict order, always led by a dominant one, while the rest follow at a measured distance. From the hillside, I studied every movement below. The leader stood out, not just for its size, but for its wariness. It grazed cautiously, scanning every direction. I tightened my grip and squeezed the trigger. A sharp crack echoed. The herd scattered in chaos, while the leader bolted the opposite way. But after a few dozen meters, it staggered and collapsed. For a hunter, victory doesn't come from luck. It comes from a mind that reads its prey. Peace didn't last long. John and I raised our scopes again, eyes locked on the herd. Even from a great distance, the zebras seemed to sense us. The herd froze. Not wasting the moment, I fired. The thunderous blast shattered the stillness. One at the edge of the group was hit. It tried to flee with the others, but fate had already been sealed. Out here in the wild, speed and precision mean everything. For a hunter, sometimes victory is earned in a single heartbeat of calm. From the high ridge, we took aim down into a hollow where the zebras slowly moved in. Clear line of sight, every movement within range. I steadied my breath, adjusted my scope, then squeezed the trigger. The bullet whistled through the air and struck one near the center of the herd. It stumbled, staggered, then darted into the bushes. Instantly, the herd erupted in chaos. Hooves pounding as they fled the area. No need to take them all, this was enough. In a hunt, sometimes all it takes is fear to make the prey never return. Yet moments later, a few more fell in our sights.
Awesome. Did we do another one?
The midday sun blazed across the plains. From the shade of a distant tree, John and I silently tracked every motion. The zebras grazed, unaware of our gaze. I carefully aligned my shot and fired. The sharp crack sliced through the still air. One was hit. It stumbled and darted toward the bushes while the herd broke apart in panic. Under this burning sun, a hunter needs more than just a rifle. He needs clarity and perfect precision. By late afternoon, the sun still blazed, but our hunt wasn't over. From afar, we spotted a herd standing across a dirt path locals often used. The zebras seemed to challenge our patience. Without hesitation, I took aim and fired. Bang! Clean, quick, precise. One fell instantly, sending the rest fleeing into the wilderness. Remember, when facing nature, unless you're a true hunter, never provoke it. Otherwise, you might become the hunted. As we packed up to head home, a lone zebra wandered near the edge of the clearing. It hadn't noticed us, calmly pacing the open ground. Silently, I raised my rifle, matched its rhythm, and fired. A clean, decisive shot. The animal fell without a sound, closing the day's hunt perfectly, right to the final moment.